Who's the Raptors X Factor in 2020? On my last video, I revealed my Western Conference pick to make the finals, the Los Angeles Lakers. I broke down their top 5 X Factors, as well as I revealed my number 1 pick for who I thought was going to be the biggest X Factor. Well, now it's time to break down my Eastern Conference pick to make the finals, the Toronto Raptors. Keep in mind, we're going to go deep below the surface. As important as a guy like Siakam is, being the Raptors' best player, he's not a guy I'm even going to consider for the X Factor role. He has to play well for them to succeed. Pascal is having a breakout season, making his first All-Star appearance. And after proving last year that he was good enough to be the number 2 on a title team, he's out to prove that he could be the best player on a championship squad. Now, even a guy like Kyle Lowry, the captain of this Raptors franchise, Lowry has had many years where his playoff performances left Raptors fans wishing for more. But after putting up 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists in last year's finals, for the Raptors to have success in these playoffs, it's imperative that Lowry improves on his postseason numbers from last year, just as he improved on his regular season numbers this year compared to last season. Then you've got a guy like Fred VanVleet, a guy that last year was the Raptors X Factor in the playoffs. He's having a career year across the board, but he's no longer in that X Factor category. He's been moved up into that must perform well category for the Raptors. So on this journey, I'm going to identify the 5 guys that I think most fit into that role of being the Raptors X Factor. Now, these guys aren't going to give you 20 every night. They may not even get the Player of the Game awards, but these guys are going to be crucial to the Raptors' quest of repeating as NBA champions. Let's get it.
Are you ready?
Welcome back to Journey of a Ballaholic, the best talk show for basketball addicts. I'm your host, General Hannibal X. Now, if you're new, on this channel, you're going to be getting my passionate and in-depth analysis on the hottest NBA and college basketball topics. Listen, I'm a ballaholic, absolutely addicted to basketball. And like everyone, I have my opinions. But if you like opinions that are backed by facts, go ahead and hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, but also make sure that you tap that bell notification so that you'll be updated whenever I drop new videos, which is every Monday and Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You got to give Masai Ujiri his credit, man. He's done an excellent job of drafting well and making the right acquisitions. Many people may not know this, but since the NBA and the ABA merger, no team has finished with a 700 winning percentage or better while having no top 20 draft picks averaging double-figure scoring. The Raptors are currently 46-18, which is a 71.9 winning percentage, and all of the double-figure scorers were either drafted outside of the top 20 or not even drafted at all. Now, 2 guys that I haven't mentioned that can easily be number 1 on this X Factor list is Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka. Both of these guys bring excellent two-way abilities. Gasol is more of a position defender who doesn't get enough credit for his role with the Raptors winning the title last year. Now, after losing weight, I can't wait to see him back causing havoc down low on that block. Now, Serge Ibaka on many nights, he's going to be the X Factor for this team. He still brings legit rim protection and the ability, just like Marc Gasol, to step out to the three-point line. Not many teams have 1, let alone 2 bigs that can be labeled 3 and D. But these 2 players, along with Pascal Siakam, Kyle Lowry, and Fred VanVleet, they're going to be mixed together on what we call the honorable mention list. I told you, we're going to dig deeper to find who the Raptors X Factor is for the 2020 playoffs. So first up, let's discuss number 5, the sharpshooter Matt Thomas. Now, coming out of high school, Thomas was right behind Zach LaVine in the ESPN 100. Now, over his 4-year career at Iowa State, he shot 40% from deep, a dead-eye sniper. Now, unfortunately, he went undrafted, but as a Laker fan, I remember him being on that Summer League team that won the title as he hit 8 for 9 from deep. Now, Thomas spent some time overseas where he gained the nickname Mr. 99. Now, he hit an absolutely insane 99% of his threes when he was left wide open. Now, in his rookie season with the Raptors, Thomas's shooting reputation has definitely carried over to the NBA as he's hitting 46.7% down from deep. Now, considering that the Raptors have a lot of depth on the wing, I just don't think he's going to get enough time to be ranked the number 1 X Factor. Next up is Terence Davis, a 23-year-old rookie with solid size. At 6'4", 205 pounds in the backcourt, he's been a major surprise addition to the Raptors bench unit. Over the next 8 games, if Davis can show that he's continued to improve, he's going to present Nick Nurse with a tough lineup decision come playoff time. Now, he's only averaged 17 minutes per game during the season, so will his minutes go up over 20, or will he be reduced down to around 10 as the rotation tightens up? Well, obviously his minutes are going to be dictated based on how he plays over the next 8 games. He did mention earlier, though, that he wants to continue to work on his ball handling primarily in the pick and roll, as he's really been a great outside shooter this season. But he's also extremely efficient as far as scoring around the basket, where he's shooting 68.6% at the rim. Now, the area that I think he really needs to develop and improve on the most is going to be that mid-range area. See, in today's NBA, a lot is made about threes or layups, but that in-between game, that's an area that can take an offensive player's game to the next level. Now, back in February, Davis exploded for a season-high 31 points against the Chicago Bulls. He was absolutely on fire, 12 for 15 from the field and 6 for 7 from deep. Now, I don't expect that kind of performance in his first playoff run, but he's definitely got to keep your eye on. Now, coming in at number 3, I've got Norman Powell. Now, I'm sure this is going to come as a big surprise, because Norman Powell was definitely very close to being my number 1 pick for the Raptors X Factor. Talk about a breakout season. This is Powell's first time averaging over 20 minutes a night, and as you see, his scoring jumped to over 16 a game. But his defense, that's what's truly been the major factor. Of all the NBA players that have played over 20 games this season, Powell ranks number 3 in the NBA in defensive field goal percentage. But as important as Powell is, I think that the next 2 guys, they're going to have an even bigger role as far as being X factors for the Raptors in 2020. Sliding in at number 2 is Chris Boucher. Now, of the Raptors that average at least 9 minutes a game, there's only 4 guys on the roster, just 4 guys that are 6'9" or taller. That's Pascal Siakam, Marcus Gasol, Serge Ibaka, and Chris Boucher is the 4th. Now, his only issue in terms of getting more playing time on the court has been his size and his ability to hold his position around the paint. But over the break, Boucher's actually put on 15 pounds of muscle. Now, that's going to definitely reassure Nick Nurse that Boucher is ready for a much larger role. Chris has been the Raptors' best rim protector all season, and he's got an outside shot that's still a work in progress. But as a backup power forward, his ability to relieve the Raptors' best player, Pascal Siakam, while not being a liability on either end of the court, that's going to go a long way for him being the Raptors' X Factor. However, he's not the number 1 X Factor. That belongs to OG Anunoby. Nick Nurse slotted him in the gaping hole that was left by Kawhi Leonard's departure. And in just his 3rd season, this man has improved literally every single statistical category that there is. I'm talking points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocks, shooting across the board. I'm talking everything. Anunoby is one of the most complete Raptor players on the entire roster. He's 2nd in steals on the team. He's 3rd in win shares. He's 4th in rebounds, 5th in blocks, and he's even 6th in scoring. I mean, literally, he's got his hands in every single category on this Raptors team. But this is the thing. OG is not a finished project, man. He still has a lot that he can work on. Now, he has worked to tighten up his handle so that he can be a better penetrator and better playmaker. And he's definitely gotten a little bit better. But at 6'7", he's going to be tasked with guarding the best team's player, most teams' best player. He's going to be that person that if they have to play the Celtics, I expect to see him guarding Jason Tatum. If he's going up against the Miami Heat, I expect to see OG Anunoby guarding Jimmy Butler. Against the Clippers or the Lakers, you can be sure he's going to be matched up against Kawhi and LeBron James. Defense is the Raptors' calling card. That's how they win. And if OG Anunoby can bring the defense to be able to guard these big wings, and then on top of that, you think about him being able to hit an outside shot, being able to score consistently, being able to put the ball on the floor and create a basket for himself, or maybe even for others, if he can get that aspect of his game, OG Anunoby has that ability to be the number 1 X Factor, and to me, it's not really that close. Listen, all the Raptors seem to do is just win, man. They currently have the longest NBA active streak, as well as their franchise's longest streak in the history of winning in consecutive calendar months. They haven't had a losing record since when they were 8-9 back in January 2017. To have that amount of winning consistently, that's top notch, and that starts from the top all the way to the bottom. So if the Raptors are going to continue their winning ways and go deep into the 2020 playoffs, it's largely going to mean that one of these X Factors, one of these guys, if not a couple of them, are going to have to play a major yet an unexpected role. The core guys, like I said, the Siakams, the Gasol, the Lowry, Van Fleet, these guys have to be good. But it's guys like Terence Davis, Matt Thomas, OG Anunoby, Norman Powell. These guys have to take their games to another level, just like we saw Fred VanVleet do last year in the playoffs. So what do you think? Who do you think is going to be the Raptors' biggest X factor in the 2020 playoffs? Do you think it could be OG or will it be somebody else? Go into the comment section below and let me know. Listen, I appreciate you for taking a look at this video. If you missed my video where I broke down why the Raptors will win the 2020 NBA Championship, go ahead and click the box up top. Now, if you also missed my playlist where I broke down my top 5 NBA title contenders for 2020, go ahead and click this box right here. I appreciate you for taking a look at the video. Make sure that you stay safe in those streets. And remember, no justice, no peace. Bye.